Look how greasy you're all greased up.
That's Miami Heat. That's the Miami
How'd you
sweat.
get so greasy already, man?
Shakira.
Well, welcome back. I think we should just get right into it. So I want to know, the Attitude Era. We like to think of it as, kind of that late '90s. You're walking through a club in every movie to get to the bad guys. Boiler rooms, a lot of vampires. WWE,
Blade for Blade.
How would you contextualize, or what would be your Mount Rushmore of Attitude Era figures?
Late 90s. We're 90s kids. Ron John Sean as Ron John Bud, as I remember it. I mean, we remember how spectacular the WWE, which was WWF back in the day, and we had Limp Bizkit, TRL era. A lot of things changing in the 90s, late 90s. Music, fashion, culture, movies. I mean, I think I have to throw in Dennis Rodman. He's easily someone to throw up there, way ahead of the curve. People are only now finally catching up with what he was doing in the 90s, just being a firebrand trailblazer for style, attitude. I honestly would throw, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin in there. I think he actually leads the... everyone's like DX. I'm a big Shawn Michaels guy. Remember Mike Tyson was... it was Mike Tyson getting involved in that. Remember, it was like HBK, DX, Triple H versus Stone Cold, and they all teamed up. That was pretty gnarly. I'd probably throw Quentin Tarantino in there. That's a little surprise pick. I didn't see that coming.
That was good.
I mean, all the late 90s stuff. I think about Fight Club and all those movies during that era, but that was also part of like the attitude, the energy, the edge from that area. Mm-hmm. And then Fred Durst probably in there. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, but how would you put Fred Durst compared to like an Eminem? Like who was kind of like leading that charge?
Man, did they ever collaborate? Did they ever clash?
I feel
like they may have a feud. They hated each other.
It might have been like an artificial feud.
Yeah.
Who knows? But I think they were dissing each other.
It's funny because I think they were way more comparable than I think maybe people would think. Like their music videos were like such caricatures or like making fun of everybody. Remember that Britney Spears? They're just calling everybody out. I think Eminem maybe takes the edge there. I mean, what was bigger? What was a bigger song? Break Stuff, The Nookie, or
Yeah, my name is. Yeah, I think on that note, Eminem probably had. I mean, 8 Mile 2 kind of had. I think that when did that come out? Like 2002.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
big fan of that movie.
That kind of had. I think. If that movie didn't come out, I think his kind of hit, his...
it's the peak of his powers.
The peak might have been a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
But man, that 8 Mile song, Lose Yourself, was just like
it was a good movie, too, honestly. Like, very few popular musicians, right? That's every pop star, everyone playing in music always wants to go in the movies and they can't pull it off. And, he was lucky to have like a really good movie. One movie.
Do you think he was good in it too? Do you think he was a good actor,
yes,
or was he just
amazing.
It's really playing himself?
Yeah, it's autobiographical. That's how you have to do it.
Yeah.
Elvis had trouble getting into the movies for a decade, and King Creole is still considered his best. It's like a film noir in a way, and he couldn't quite figure it out. But I mean, look at The Weeknd recently. Like he did that movie. No one's seen it. No one liked The Idol. To be honest, he can't really act.
So you're saying like Eminem, he couldn't do a Mrs. Doubtfire?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard. Music and musicians and actors, and it's like rappers want it's the whole thing. Like they all want to be basketball players, and the basketball players want to be rappers, and it's like can be. Name a Damian Lillard song,
Right.
And remember, like J. Cole was trying to go pro for a little bit.
Yeah,
he went semi-pro. I mean, but I don't. It's like I don't know. It's a crazy time. But I think they go back to like the main Attitude Era. Those I would probably take Eminem over Fred Durst. So I'd say Dennis Rodman, Quentin Tarantino, Eminem, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely Stone Cold is just like the aesthetic. If you had to pick like a poster figure of the Attitude Era, like there's You have him. I mean, The Rock, obviously, with his sunglasses and King Smell. DX. That took over every middle school around the world. Like, every kid was, like, doing the DX.
Yeah.
Like, when any parent or teacher told you to do something.
Well, I mean, there are so many other things, too. Like, the South. It was so anti-establishment. Nothing epitomized that more than Stone Cold. His beer drinking, in your face, Texas, the whole FU to the Mr. McMahon's boss character is inspirational, and even to this day, it is still a big, people connected with that. And I think there's something about the late 90s that was so fascinating.
I also think it's just funny how normalized that behavior was on TV. Just smashing like aluminum chairs, like everybody, like that's crazy. I remember like kids and stuff. They, like we get unsupervised, get a little rowdy. They start smashing each other with chairs.
I mean, what would Stone Cold Steve Austin's LinkedIn look like?
Oh my gosh,
what would it just be? Screw you to everybody. You're right. I mean, very in your face. To the Skibbity era now, it's a bit different. But do you agree with those four? Who would you say?
That's very strong picks.
You want to throw NSYNC in there, Carson Daly?
Yeah, they're almost like on the antithesis Attitude Era Rushmore. Like you had the kind of the good side
Gwyneth
and
Paltrow.
the good guys and the bad guys. I know it's hard. You got to even think like South Park could be a figure up there, because they just took over.
Matt Parker, Trey Stone.
Yeah, Jerry Springer too.
Oh, yeah.
You kind of creating that sort of TV.
Must-see exploitative TV, trash TV.
I think I got to go Fred Durst
over Eminem.
Over Eminem, just
What's
because.
The argument there? What's the argument?
Just the pure aesthetic.
The red cap.
I think of Woodstock '99. They were there. I don't think Eminem was there, and I think they're also just having this kind of butt rock resurgence right now. That like everybody like a little bit more than Eminem.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because they both went on like separate career trajectories, and it's funny because Eminem's a Michigan guy, Fred Durst from Jacksonville, and I think there's arguments for both sides. I can see that. I think they both were probably the most controversial musicians of their time for separate reasons. It's probably somebody we're forgetting because there's just such an explosion.
I mean, I would also have to go with Marilyn Manson because,
of course,
they also I would almost
shock rock
be in the same category of Springer because they'd like talk about it on Springer and the Parents.
Yeah, he was in that whole. He was in the milieu. He was in the. Participating in the culture there. Yeah,
I mean, if you want to go kind of like evil figures as society would deem them, I think Marilyn Manson definitely was like a household name in a different way.
Yeah, I mean, I think he represented the voice of the voiceless in many ways. I mean, to go on a more serious note, I mean, he, the Columbine shooting that happened. I remember Michael Moore did Bowling for Columbine, and his interview was the most poignant, where he's like, I wouldn't have said a damn thing, would have actually listened to these kids. And I think he represented a lot of, like, outcasted people during that time, But yeah, I know he's gotten into more, of course, controversy and trouble and everything. But he's also a Florida guy too. Everyone who's crazy is from Florida.
That's a good
That's
point.
why we're here. Wake up, wake up.
The beautiful people.
It's just one of the greatest rock songs of all time.
That song is great.
Yeah, such an inspirational riff there, man. Yeah, He changed everything, and it was all like brought to you by MTV too. I think. It's so funny. It's like I think '90s kids understand the impact and how big and important it was to MTV when these things happened in real time. This is pre-social media, like the Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter era, and like you had to kind of watch things live to be part of the discussion the next day.
Where do you think like Carson Daly, was he like a real person, or like did he have like
what does that mean?
Did he have like any actual opinion on anything? He'd be like,
no,
today we have a POD on today.
I think he was chill. I think he it's funny because I guess you go from him to like Ryan Seacrest later in the 2000s as the sort of everyday face who's a part of this cultural phenomena, from TRL to American Idol. Remember, American Idol was like 2004, and that's about the time TRL was like dying down. You know, so it's interesting. But I was always big on both those guys. I think you needed someone who was like chill and didn't like want the spotlight.
Carson Daly, he's like a hand in the pocket kind of guy.
He's just gonna do what he's gonna get. Yeah, he's gonna be there. He's gonna make everyone feel comfortable, and be there and not try to bring it too much attention to himself.
Do you think Carson Daly went to any Diddy parties?
I think everyone did.
Any sort of crazy.
At this point, I feel as if we were at one.
I know,
and we didn't even know. We were just, what was this white party all of our parents and everyone went to? Diddy took over everything.
Justin Bieber crashing out right now on Instagram.
Yeah, I mean,
saying like the most crazy things.
I can't blame him though. I mean, I met him. He was cool. I mean, I get it. It's like, anybody who has that amount of fame, that kind of pressure. As a kid, you're working at an extreme adult schedule. You're around adults all day. You aren't in school. You don't have like a, I mean, that's gonna rewire your brain chemistry. Everything. You're basically being asked and forced to be an adult at like 12, 13. So Michael Jackson, all these people end up screwing up. Britney Spears,
Yeah, and you have all the most insane people around you that all want something from you, and they're just saying whatever.
And your brain is still developing, at that age, and you're just on a roller coaster, and you have access to everything, anything. And, one thing they don't talk about either for, like, these teen stars is, like, how many adults are creeping on you. From the guy's side, we already know that from the ladies' side. But even from the guy's side, it's like, weird executives and all these weird people. And I'm sure Justin Bieber has infinite stories about all that stuff. And, I mean, it's just a lot to take in. You're just like, you're basically a Navy SEAL at that point. It's like your brain, you're going so fast. You're being operated in this huge machine. And, of course, you're going to go to drugs. You lose a sense of reality.
Oh yeah, and you're just fodder for the machine.
Yeah, I love Justin Bieber though. I think I like a lot of his music. He's working on some new stuff. He got a new producing, managing team. But I do think I want to see what he does next, because I do think there's a male pop star epidemic right now, and it's all like female pop stars. And then we just have male rappers. We just have like Drake and
Can't even think of any because there are none.
No, I mean, I'm not big on, everyone knows I'm not huge on Drake, who he had the big feud with. I can't remember his name right now. That's how I've eliminated him from.
Oh, Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, because I feel like he's a fraudulent artist. Like he's definitely got like paid fans and like numbers, and it's so funny because he just did that concert in Canada, and like all of it. It's so interesting to me, that rivalry. Travis Scott, of course, and. Playboy Cardi, and it's all like male rappers, and I miss like Justin Bieber's. I guess there's the new guy too from Washington, Benson.
There's a couple groups, and Benson Boone. I just feel like he's looking for any opportunity to do a backflip. Like at any time, he's like, "I'm gonna be in a show.
Come here, do a backflip in the sauna with us."
Yeah, that's like his hair whip kind of video game move. He goes on stage, he double hits X.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be about something. I mean, I guess in the social media age, you have to be memorable and find a way to do that in, T-minus 3 seconds. So, good for him. I guess he has a background in gymnastics or whatever. But I don't know. And if you compare that like Michael Jackson, some other bands.
Yeah, exactly. Joey Swole hitting the backflip too. Everybody.
Big Joey Swole guys. I mean, it's cool because I think that like encapsulates his personality too. I know he messed up on the backflip, but it's all right. It's like I love that. Everyone loves him because he's going after it. He's being honest. He's being real. Yeah. He's not gonna be this guy. That's why everyone loves him, because more than anything now in the culture we need love and support. And it's like. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to be cynical. Put a camera on someone, make fun of somebody, and like.
Oh my God, the worst.
Like, yeah, and we all know people like that who are just always trying to like invalidate your dreams or invalidate what you're trying to do, and it's like when you first go to the gym or try to get healthy, it's not like you're gonna be ripped and jacked and the perfect person on the first day, and
right.
Life is hard as it is. We don't already need additional people like talking, garbage and trash, preventing people from trying to live their best life, God bless absolutely. You, Joey Swole. God bless you. Do better. Do better.
Remember, I think a lot of this was exposed during the 2020 riots, pandemic, like all the kind of insane, what is it called? Like the social influencing where you're like you go out and you're like, oh, I'm helping, I'm putting up boards and that.
Virtue signaling.
Yeah, like virtue
signaling, and also just the kabuki theater of being someone who is on the right side of history, whatever that means. It's such an abstraction. I think people just throw some of these words out and these phrases, and they don't really take a deep dive into what they mean or what it means.
It's crazy. And sometimes I wonder, like, if social media didn't exist, what would some of these people be doing in society? Like, how would they be acting? You know, or like, I'm just wondering, like, you know, they get to this point and it's crazy. It's like your life would be so different if you weren't looking at the lives of everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously socially engineering us consciously and or unconsciously. But there's a performance aspect of it, and now everyone wants to put on their performance because it can lead to attention, views, which can lead to revenue, which can lead to kind of you leveling up your life in some ways. But I do think we've maxed out. You know, I think that we're on the precipice of something new and different. You know, I think we've been with YouTube and, you know, Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. We've been with these apps for some time now, you know, so it's time to, like, what's next, you know?
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how in society everybody has kind of become like video producers too in their own fields. You know, they all like use the same kind of practices, and you could see it, and it's like, it's very fascinating, just the content output from everybody. Yeah. And how, like, the younger generations right now, it's like all of them aspire to be like YouTubers when they go there. Of course,
they just want to profit off of their daily, just by documenting their lives. But I think a lot of people don't realize is that they aren't really idiosyncratic. It takes time and experience to actually build a personality, to be about something, to know who you are instead of just, you know, maybe if you're a pretty girl, you can get traction for a little bit. Even that's hyper competitive now. Everyone, you know, knows how to do things makeup wise, you know, and how to kind of doll themselves up.
Right.
And you look at, like, speed and some of that stuff also, they're like semi plants, you know, people pluck them out and give them certain promotion, and who knows what angel investors they have and how some of these people are moving, who's actually behind the scenes, you know. So it's a crazy time to be alive, you know, but we're going to be here for the ride in the sauna as the world comes to an end, to a new beginning.
Oh, yeah, we'll be sauna shaking, sliding this whole time.
Nuclear bunker.
Yeah.
Sauna bunker.
Turn it up, not hot enough outside.
That's right.
Okay, next thing I really want your opinion on that I think is like almost this kind of pandemic that's happening is, I see it in the gym all the time, the wearable tech. Because everybody, they want to check their macros. They got to pick the next song. They're vlogging. I also think it's bold sometimes at the gym. Also, people full on like FaceTime, speakerphone while they're working out, talking about the groceries after work. So, you know, is wearable tech, in your opinion, a hindrance or a help?
I think you got to find balance with it. Me personally, I'm a bit more of an analog man. I've never gotten like an Apple iWatch. I am not big on a lot of the tracking. Like, I'm a big runner, and I'm not really big on some of the tracking apps and websites and stuff. And I do think people lose a sense of like their relationship with nature, their body, if they're too caught up with tracking things to such an extreme specificity, where you kind of lose track of the essence of what you're doing, you know? So, I mean, you know, I think people will be more focused on probably, you know, I think bring more joys, get more in touch with themselves if they can move away from the technology when they're exercising and stuff. But there's people who really, you know, the Brian Johnsons, you know, I'm inspired. I like him a lot too. And, you know, I think that's one method to approach to kind of optimize your health.
Extreme data analysis.
If you have the money and time, and maybe you're just more of that kind of mind, go for it, you know. But for me personally, so Ron John guy, I like to be out on the beach, and you know, I try to get rid of my phone, be out there 10-20 minutes, you know, without the phone, in the water, just being in with nature, my relationship with planet Earth. You know, I think that's big. More people need that.
I get it too, because there's so many pros to it, but you have to be like intentful with whatever you're doing these days. Because, man, some days I'll be like, I'll just wake up, I'll be like, man, I was on autopilot for 2 days. You know, I'm just scrolling and podcasting, and every second I have, I'm listening, I'm doom scrolling, I have my TV on, my phone, my iPad, and I have one speaker listening to an audiobook. Yeah, so I think it's like, you have to be really careful in the gym, because my thing is sometimes I'll be looking for the right song to give me that pump. You know, I gotta hit this bench. And then next thing you know, I'm just like, I'm on Instagram Reels, just scrolling, drooling.
I think you have to set up kind of strict rules for yourself. And, you know, I try, I'm about half and half. I do like running and working out with music, but half of the time also I like to not do it. So, you know, we mix it up.
I think our equipment's getting fried, ladies and germs.
Yeah, we have, one camera left?
That might be it. You know, I might have to hit it.
Hit it and quit it? So 20 minutes.
20. Let's check it out.
All right.
Folks, we'll be back.